Hello, I am MG and welcome to the last video of MLOps video series on Azure. So in this video, which is the last one, we are going to see how we can test the MLOps solution we just created and deployed on Azure. So now we have our MLOps pipelines from continuous integration, continuous deployment. So we have the solution we tested and it's all working properly. So what we can do as a final test to make sure this MLOps lifecycle is automated. Now let's try to mimic the real scenario. So what's gonna happen? Let's say I'm a data scientist and now I was using my VS Code that I was developing some models and putting my training codes in my training folder, or you can use your AML. Let's say I am in my Azure machine learning as a data scientist. I have my notebooks here and I'm doing the same thing, the same development of the files that I just show you in my VS Code. Okay, so regardless of where you are, what we're gonna do, we're gonna mimic a scenario that there's a new development coming in with my data scientists or developers. So what I will do, I'll open my VS Code. Let's say I want to make a change and now I want to use a new algorithm, a new machine learning model for that insurance use case or a new data, so whatever. For now, I just want to make it simple, make a change in my repository. So what I will do, let's say I'm just going to create a new text file as I was testing before. So let me create a new file, call it as test.txt file, and then I can type, let's say, hello. So as you can see there, it is green. It shows me, well, you're adding something new, a change in your repository that you have here. Let me get back to the repository. So as you can see, I don't have anything called test.txt in my training folder, but I'm now adding that on-prem. So it is created in my machine right now. So I want to do a commit and pull request to later on move it to the master branch that I have here to come to this repository. So let me do that. I'm gonna first do a commit. So if I'm gonna go to source control in VS Code, let's say my commit, I'm just gonna type it down as a description, click on tick sign, save and all commit. Now it's done. Now I want to push it to my Azure repository. So I can click on push. You can see that it's now already pushing. This cycle shows that the process is going on and it should be done now. So again, we should push it to development branch and then to master based on an approval. But let's make it simple. We're going to directly go to master, which is not a good practice. And this is my repo. Let's make a refresh to see if that test.txt comes to my training folder. Let's do a refresh and go to training. And as you can see, my test.txt file is there. Hello. This can be a new training code. This can be a new algorithm, whatever. So the repo is updated. What does that mean? My CI pipeline or continuous integration should be now automated and automatically triggered to create a new model based on the changes that we had. So let's see if it really worked. I'm gonna go to pipeline. And as you can see, my CI pipeline is already triggered based on the trigger we defined. So what does it do? Let's check it out. I'm gonna see the steps, agent job. And as you can see, yes, it is doing all the steps we defined before. If you remember and you watched the previous videos, we are creating the ML workspace if it's not there, creating a cluster if it's not there, getting the data, training the model, registering, and then push it that model as an artifact that can be used to be deployed with my continuous deployment release pipeline. So I'm gonna pause the recording for now and let's wait to see what's gonna happen with the training part. And when the training is done, it should automatically trigger the other pipeline that move that model to deploy that in a staging environment, which is contained instance. And then it should email me that we're gonna move it to production. If I'm happy, I approve it, and the model should be all in production. So again, end-to-end automated from the first thing we did, we uploaded a new code, a new type of change, model, whatever in my repo with a pull request. And now all the rest of the steps, all the way to putting that model and new code or new development to production and start monitoring that, should begin automated. So let me pause here and I'll resume recording shortly. All right, as you can see, all the steps were successfully ran, and what we can do, let's check what happened to my build pipeline. So as you can see, the CI pipeline ran successfully, and it should now trigger automatically my continuous deployment on my release pipeline to move that train model to deploy it in a staging environment and then production. So let's check it out. I will go to release pipelines. And as you can see, it has already triggered a new release pipeline by itself. And let's check it out. It should now already deploy the model to staging by itself. Perfect. So it moved those kind of artifacts we created with our build or CI pipeline. We deployed that to staging environment and we tested. It was successful. Now it's gonna deploy to production. That's why I get an email. So let's say I didn't know even new development has been applied with my data scientist and it was in the repo. Now the model's trained, the model will move to staging, all automated. And now I will get an email that, well, there's a model that's gonna go to production. I test everything, all good, I can approve. And then we will come back and see how the model will be performed and actually the pipeline gonna work when we are deploying that inside production. It's gonna take a while, so again I'll pause recording and resume recording after to show you the final outcome. Okay, that's fantastic. So as you can see, I waited a bit and now the model is all the way deployed in production. So let's open my Azure Machine Learning. If I'm gonna do a refresh, I'm inside actually my let's check the endpoints, and as you can see, there's a new service on the AKS that is created just right now and it is deployed. Awesome. So we just saw that how we were able to actually come all the way from our development. So my data scientist was using, let's say, VS Code to actually start to come up with a new development, with a new file. So I just added a text file. So that's it. That was the only thing he or she did. And then afterwards, everything was to go through a pull request and push to my repo, and it triggered all my MLOps pipeline automatically all the way through staging. And now I am in production and I have the model running and tested and deployed, so it can give me prediction services, and we can now decide and see actually whether an insurance policy holder gonna claim a file or not. I hope you enjoyed the videos and I hope you found it fruitful. Thank you so much. Finally, that was the last video of MLOps video series. You can just pause this video right now and think about what we have done so far through this journey, and think about the greatest benefits and impacts that we can have through utilizing these services and this concept and all MLOps in general. Well, in this video series, I did my best to make concepts easy to understand and try to have some of the concepts in just high level, and at some points be hands-on to understand the concepts better and be a little bit more educated to the services we talked about in Azure ecosystem. Well, MLOps based on your requirement can be all customized, and the detailed part of it can be probably different than what we just covered. But at least now you have the high-level picture and you know what's going on when we talk about MLOps and what we're supposed to do when we talk about how we apply DevOps for machine learning or MLOps or machine learning operation. Again, thank you so much for putting your time and watching all these videos. I'm deeply hoping that you learned a lot and you found it useful. Please, I really appreciate if you write down your comments below and help me to understand better how can I create more videos that you will like, you enjoy, and you will be interested to learn more about it. In general, about Azure Cloud Computing, data and AI, and how we can be efficient in data science, or if you want to know more about Azure Machine Learning, all the services we discussed. So in general, again, tell me how I can create more contents that you will find it useful for you. That's gonna help me a lot, and also it will certainly motivate me. So all the purpose was about sharing this experience, this a bit of knowledge, and also this picture to community, and help the society to create impact, and all together be a better human and empower each other, every person, every organization all around this planet. Stay tuned, and we're gonna see each other for a new topic, for a new concept through this video series. Thank you.